Glad to have you with us here on the Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here as we are talking all about this guy right here, one of the newest members of the Kansas City Chiefs, Louis Rees-Zammit. The former rugby player is fighting for a spot on the Chiefs' 53-man roster, and he recently received some high praise from the one and only Patrick Mahomes. We'll tell you all about it coming up here on today's program. Before we do, folks, we got to talk for a second. Are you aware that we only gained one subscriber since Monday? And we're in the midst of a sub-battle all month long among our AFC West foes, the Raiders Report, and the Broncos Breakdown. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not good enough. That's unacceptable, folks. We got to do a better job. We need you to make sure you subscribe for the latest happenings on your Kansas City Chiefs each and every day with our daily news and rumors. We're going to be bringing you watch parties throughout the season, live shows, interactive Q&A mailbags, breaking news, and more. The headquarters for the back-to-back defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs is the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Mahomes appearing on the Rob Riggle podcast, one of the biggest Kansas City Chiefs fans around. He said that he is very hopeful about Rees-Zammit and what he's going to bring to this Kansas City Chiefs team. And it's quite the story for Rees-Zammit that we're going to tell you about here on today's show. Let's begin with Mahomes' comments, what he said on the podcast with Rob Riggle. He said the following: he catches it like he's catching a rugby ball, but he never drops the football, so you don't complain on it. What's been the best part about it is he works his tail off, man. He understands he needs to get better, needs to continue to work, but the athletic ability is unreal. 24 miles an hour or whatever they clocked him at in real rugby is real. So pretty high praise there from Patrick Mahomes on Rees-Zammit. Let's tell you more about him. Rees-Zammit going to play the running back position for Kansas City. Still very young, just 23 years old. Checks in at 6'3", 194 pounds. And he signed a 3-year contract with Kansas City in March of 2024, and that comes from the International Player Pathway Program. And in case you don't know what that is, the International Player Pathway Program was something the NFL developed several years ago as a way to try to reach out and find international players, and every team is allowed to carry an International Player Pathway Program player in addition to their normal practice squad spots. So if Rees-Zammit doesn't make the 53-man roster, they could still potentially have him on this Chiefs team as a player pathway program spot and not have to give up a practice squad or roster spot on that sense. Former winger for the Welsh international rugby team is his background, and rugby, of course, a lot of similarities to the game of football, and we're going to show you some statistics here in just a bit, just how good he was, because Zammit, this guy was good, right? You are going to see for yourself what exactly we're talking about of the difference maker he just might be for the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you excited about Louis Rees-Zammit? I know I am. It's very intriguing, to say the least. It's a great story that we're talking about here. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, in for no. It's our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. So let's go over his rugby stats from 2023. He had 9 tries. We'll explain what a try is coming up in just a moment. A total of 45 points. And minutes played, he played in 1,055 minutes. And I'll tell you this, I don't know a ton about rugby, but that just sounds like a lot. That tells me that he's probably very stable and has a lot of ability there on that front. So what is a try, you may be asking? It's basically the equivalent of a touchdown in rugby that occurs when a player runs into the other team's end zone with the ball and grounds it in the end goal. It's worth 5 points. So if you go back to those statistics, then now that we have further explanation, that's like having 9 touchdown scores and 45 points. Think about football terms, 6 points is a touchdown, so pretty decent statistics, it would seem, for what he was able to do on the rugby front. I'm excited about the possibility of him. And we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs has done a really good job, their scouting department, of finding these diamonds in the rut, if you will. I don't know what ultimately is going to be the end game with Rees-Zammit, what his role will be if he ends up being a full-time running back or a special teams guy, or if he even makes the roster. But credit where credit's due for the Chiefs scouting department to do their homework, to find somebody like this, to take on a project. I think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic here. The folks at Touchdown Wire, the USA Today site, they named Reesmit as a potential breakout player in 2024. So we'll show you what they said here in just a second, but you think about it. If they're naming him as a breakout player, that means expectations are pretty high that he could wind up on this 53-man roster and make an impact on that front. Here's more from John Dillon saying the following. No player has been more hyped by the Chiefs during the offseason than Rees-Zammit. A former rugby star, Rees-Zammit has the speed, agility, and hard-nosed running style that scouts look for in running back prospects. But it remains to be seen if he could translate his skill set to the gridiron. As the ultimate boom or bust pickup, it seems that Rees-Zammit will be destined for stardom if he puts together a stellar preseason and makes the Chiefs' 53-man roster as Isaiah Pacheco's backup in his first season in the NFL. And obviously you have Clyde there as well, so this could be a very interesting running back room if Rees-Zammit's a part of the equation there. So let's put the over-under on it. Does he get more or less than 2.5 touchdowns this upcoming season? If you think he hits the over, then type O for over. If you think he hits the under, type U for under. Let us know in the comments section which one you think that is. Folks, you got to be subscribed to the Chiefs Report as we are covering the Kansas City Chiefs like no one else is. Who else is talking about Rees-Zammit? We are here on the channel, folks. We are giving you all the inside scoop on the latest happening with the Kansas City Chiefs, bringing you our daily news and rumors. We're talking free agency, trades, the countdown to training camp. It's all right here on the Chiefs Report. Hit that sub button. Subscribe now for free. If you're a real member of the Chiefs Kingdom, you got to be subscribed to the channel. Lock us in now. You'll be glad you did. I think special teams is the most likely scenario of him being his main role, if you will, within this Kansas City Chiefs team more than likely. And you think about this, when you look at what Andy Reid has done over the years, and, you know, I look back, I love hearing Big Red tell his stories about his playbook, how he's got some plays in there that go all the way back to like the 1960s of what they've done. I mean, they still have things in the Chiefs playbook that Vince Lombardi was doing back in the day. No one is a better football mind than Andy Reid. And so then you think about that. All right, is there anybody that could successfully convert a rugby player to being a realistic option in the National Football League? If anybody can, it would have to be Big Red Andy Reid, right? If it's going to work, he's got any hope of making it into the NFL, it's going to be with this guy Andy Reid, maximizing his potential and seeing what he can get out of him. If Lewis comes in there and blows everyone's doors off, which is certainly possible, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs find a way to carve out a role similar to Deebo Samuel. Deebo, of course, used primarily as a wide receiver, but a few years ago was used a lot in the backfield. They haven't needed him as much in that case with San Francisco since they added Christian McCaffrey. But there's a lot of flexibility you could potentially get involved here with Rees-Zammit. We heard Patrick say that he catches the football like a rugby, and as long as he's catching it, it doesn't matter how he does it, as long as he's hauling it in. So there's a lot of different ways that they can create it. If you look at the Chiefs running back depth chart, and outside of Pacheco and Edwards-Helaire, there's a real opening there. And you have to think that the Chiefs are going to carry at least 3 running backs on the 53-man roster, if not 4 when it's all said and done. And even if he doesn't make the roster, I think this is a guy that's going to be sticking around in some way, shape, or form. I think there's a decent chance you see him get activated at some point this season for this Kansas City Chiefs team if he does what we all think he'll do and continues to develop and grow into the football player that he can become. How would you grade the signing of Louis Rees-Zammit? Chiefs obviously see something here. I got to give it an A. Shout out to Veach and the scouting department for finding this guy. I mean, just unbelievable, right? What do you guys think? A, B, C, D, or F? Way in the comment section. Let us know. Subscribe now for continuing Chiefs coverage each and every day here on the channel, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. We'll see you next time.